Hello, everyone. I'm super thrilled today. On this episode, I have with me Mr. Tejas Kulkarni, who is a TCA Tech Nutraceuticals co-founder. He has done a PhD on sports and nutrition and exercise, and he's got a vast knowledge about fitness and health. So I'm super excited today to know about this, and especially to all the fitness and health lovers. This is a very nice episode where it'll enlighten a lot of knowledge from him and the insights on his journey. So, looking forward to this. So, welcome, Tejas, and look forward to having this candid chat with you. And to start off, I want to know a little bit about your journey and how did you get into fitness and why did you choose this as a particular subject to study? So, a little bit on that, and yeah, over to you.
Firstly, thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. So, yes, basically, I was always interested in sport. Fitness, sport has always been a passion. I used to play multiple sports growing up, if you can say semi-professionally, not a professional sportsman. So, I can say semi-professionally. I'm really interested in cricket, football, squash, table tennis, badminton, athletics. So growing up, I was interested in all of these sports. I used to track them religiously, especially cricket and football. I know sounds cliche, but I'm a huge cricket and football fan, and I wanted to play both growing up, which was not feasible. But at the time, I was, you can say, delusional in, and I really wanted to play both cricket and football professionally, and neither turned out. So what was the next best thing? I come from a background of doctors, so my parents are both orthopedic surgeons, and naturally, people would assume that okay, I would also pursue the same. I was kind of interested in biology, medicine, etc., but I also wanted to work in the sports and fitness industry. So how do I combine both of these fields together? By going down the academic route in this subject.
Okay.
So then I went to UK, did my bachelor's, master's, and then I'm currently pursuing my PhD, and I'll probably get it soon.
Okay. Well, that's a very nice thing to hear, and it's something a totally different field. In fact, I don't know a lot of people myself who has actually studied fitness and health. And kudos to you, and all the very best. I hope you keep inspiring a lot of people. So my next question is, Tejas, see, everyone knows, what is the calorie intake, on a daily basis when people eat any kind of food. Everyone nowadays I'm seeing has become more fitness conscious and things like that. But according to you, what is like a full balanced diet, and why is it so important for our body to have that kind of a balanced diet, especially when we grow old? Our metabolism also, anyways, decreases. So, how can one, on a consistent basis, follow the same thing, as a religious practice? Do you want to say something on that?
Sure. So technically, there is no universal definition of a balanced diet, right? Everyone have has their own perspectives nowadays. I'll just share my perspective.
Right.
So according to me, a balanced diet or a good diet is something that comprises of all the essential macro and micronutrients in the right quantity,
Okay.
and the food that you consume suits you. So, for example, if you're consuming one food item, it does not cause any digestive distress.
Okay.
So something that is nutritionally adequate, something that is easy to follow or convenient to follow, something you can stick for a longer period of time, and something that suits your digestive system.
Okay. So that is something on the diet you're saying. And how important is exercise? What is exercise in terms of, like, people say that you don't have to go to the gym to exercise, but on a personal level, I don't think gym or going anywhere is that necessary. I think you can exercise anywhere. As today, even if you go to a beach, you can just like go and do some sit-ups. You can do a lot of other things. So, what is your take on that?
Of course, see, gym is a place where you have access to equipment.
Right.
So, see, your muscles do not understand what is the source of resistance they are getting. Your muscles will contract or work on the demands you place on them.
Right.
So whether that be a setting like a gym or you doing bodyweight squats on the beach or at home, your muscles will respond to the stimulus. and your progress will be dependent on the dose, duration, amount of stimulus. So it's not a necessary thing that you need to go to the gym.
Okay.
As long as you provide necessary stimulus to your muscles,
Right.
they will respond appropriately.
And how important are sleep patterns? People don't probably understand, if when they think that they're working out, a lot of people, even young age people, I'm seeing they're getting heart attacks, they're having different kind of problems. Why is that happening? Is it because of they are not following a certain routine, or you think they because the sleep patterns are not right, or what is your take on this?
So yes, so right now the thing is there are a lot of factors involved. So the work stress is a big factor.
Right,
Not having a good routine in place could be a factor. Then additionally, social life could be a factor.
right.
And if you're a PhD student like me, research work could be a factor.
Okay,
So all these factors can come in, but over a long period of time, everyone should get their sleep routine in check.
okay.
Maybe temporarily, you might have to compromise on certain aspects of your day for your work, but that temporary alteration should not result in long-term issues. That is, we can't really predict much, right? If someone disrupts their routine, it can
Right,
really disrupt to a large extent. That's why we don't really advise on compromising on sleep.
right,
But for whatever reasons, whatever emotional, social, uh, work, career related, you should always aim to get your sleep routine in check at the end of the day.
right.
Because sleep is an extremely important factor that not only dictates how you recover from the current day, but also may dictate how you feel the next day.
Got it. Okay. Um, what is your take, in terms of reducing CVD through exercise and nutrition?
Yeah.
What would you recommend?
So, firstly, if you're someone who has high body fat percentage, so naturally, exercise has shown to benefit CVD risk independent of weight loss. So, exercise is a non-negotiable factor in that regard. Now, there are various adaptations and physiological reasons why that happens. We won't go over all of them, but exercise is an extremely important factor when you want to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. And the point we spoke about, if someone has a high body fat percentage, reducing that body fat percentage or losing weight will definitely benefit them.
Okay,
And nutritionally speaking, of course, reducing weight, to reduce weight slash your body fat percentage, you need to have a calorie deficit in place. That means consuming less calories than what your body requires on a daily basis. Of course, now we tend to think that the calorie number, we are so obsessed with numbers nowadays, that calorie number is a set number in place, but that doesn't really work that way. It fluctuates depending on n number of factors. What is the type of food you eat? So the thermic effect of food dictates that. How much exercise you put in, what other activities you were involved in that day. So that dictates. So usually how I like to go about it is work on the range, assess your body weight or how much change there is in your body weight from your current routine, and whatever changes you made, understand or assess how your body is responding to them or how your body weight is responding to them, so you can understand what that calorie intake is or how that calorie intake is affecting you. So that is there. Then we come to the more nutritional aspect. So first is calorie intake, second is how much dietary fat and specifically saturated fat you consume. So according to health guidelines, approximately 10% of your daily calorie intake can come from saturated fat. So if you're someone who's consuming roughly 2000 calories, approximately 200 calories can come from saturated fat or less than that.
okay,
So that would mean 22 grams of saturated fat per day.
got it.
So this saturated fat comes from the source doesn't really affect much. So that saturated fat could come from ghee, that saturated fat could come from red meat, egg yolks, cooking medium, etc.
Okay.
So
People say,
best to
sorry, people say that, stop eating too much sugar. Sugar is not good for you. But, do you think sugar alone is responsible for obesity? in terms of your metabolism syndrome?
Not necessarily. So, sugar alone is not responsible. Any one food item in isolation is not responsible for obesity or any metabolic condition slash disease. So, sugar has a bad name because it is palatable. So, when you add sugar to a certain food item, it becomes palatable. That means it becomes easy to overconsume. So, that results in a large caloric intake or large food intake. So that it's not the sugar that's causing the issue. So when you look at white sugar in isolation, you cannot eat more than 2 spoons of white sugar in isolation. You have to combine that sugar with another food item to make it palatable, to make it tasty. So we tend to blame sugar, but sugar at the end of the day is a simple carbohydrate. So sugar on its own, that one food item is not responsible. There are various studies done on this as well. So where the sugar intake was monitored, so there was roughly 20-25% of calories coming from just plain sugar, and the diet resulted in a calorie deficit.
Okay.
And then the participants did not gain any weight.
What is according to you, in terms of the blood markers, in terms of monitoring during our nutrition, what do you think is which is more important? How do you monitor it?
So getting a blood test done would be the simplest way to understand your blood markers. There are few blood markers which would be really important here. Of course, fasting blood sugar, HbA1c, your lipid profile. So LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and then the apolipoprotein. So ApoB is of interest. Then lipoprotein A, which is called as LP little a. So
Okay.
these blood markers could be really important in assessing health. And with these blood markers, maybe getting the vitamin and mineral panel would also help.
What do you think, like everyone nowadays, I think 90% people have a fatty liver.
Yeah,
What is, do you think that fruits alone is responsible, or you think fruits, does it play a part in terms of a fatty liver?
not really, no. So this whole narrative was started because of fructose.
Okay.
So many people believe that fructose, when you consume fructose, since liver plays a large role in fructose metabolism, that fructose will get converted into fat in the liver, and that is how fatty liver will develop. But that is not the case. We have enough research to suggest that if you consume fructose, even high fructose food items, but your net calorie intake is not in surplus, then that will not result in fatty liver.
Okay.
And fructose conversion to fat or fructose conversion to triglycerides is very low. The conversion rate is very low.
Okay.
And fruit itself does not contain a lot of fructose. So
Okay.
eating fruit will not result in fatty liver. Again, fatty liver, it's a broad term. You have to look at
Right.
the overall diet, the quality of the diet, the overall calorie intake, what other food items are present in your diet, is there alcohol consumption, what is the activity levels, etc.
Right. Like, I'll tell you a little bit about myself also, Tejas. I don't know if you know. So I reversed type 2 diabetes. I had type 2 diabetes, and my sugar fasting went to almost 226. And it was a totally self-committed, and because obviously with having excess overweight, you become, lethargic, and it creates a lot of problems within the body and your day-to-day life also. So in fact, I was having breathing issues also when I was trying to, go from one point A to point B, just walking about 15, 20 steps. So, I think, lifestyle in today's time for the younger generation, for the elder generation, or for anybody is very important, to monitor yourself, to be mindful in whatever you do, whenever you're consuming things. God has given us one life, and I think it's very important to use it well in terms of the kind of food you take, the kind of environment you are in, in terms of even thoughts. Your thoughts plays an important role too. They say psychological balance is also very important in today's time. Like physical is one part, but your mental balance is also another part, which is actually correlated. So that also, I believe that it plays a very important role in terms of your overall health and fitness. So
Yes.
also I want to know something. So according to you, how does exercise does it really change your blood pressure levels in terms of if you exercise too much, or What is your take on that?
Yes, so exercise really helps with managing your blood pressure issues.
Okay.
So in the short term, so exercise actually raises blood pressure in the short term. So
Okay.
when you do a bout of exercise, after that exercise bout or during that exercise bout, your blood pressure rises. But that's an acute response. That's a predictable response.
Okay.
So if someone with existing blood pressure issues, they should manage their exercise intensity.
Okay.
But over a long term, exercise is extremely important for reducing blood pressure for people having issues with high blood pressure.
Got it.
So again, exercise itself will benefit blood pressure issues because of the adaptations it promotes.
Okay.
So for example, nitric oxide production, how your blood vessels, the epithelial cell integrity, all that improves with exercise. So even if you don't make any changes, you don't lose weight, exercise alone will improve blood pressure or will help improve managing blood pressure.
Right. Okay. So tell me one thing, in today's time, see, social media has become such a big thing. Everything, a lot of people also do things to, post on social media, or, they try to, change their kind of a lifestyle just to, show the best side out of social media, whether it's in your health and fitness journey as well. Uh, what is your take where people think that you just have to go to the gym just to make a body? It's like not just to be physically fit, but you think like the way we brush our teeth, why health and fitness is just not for the appearance on the outer look. What is your take in terms of this angle on health and fitness?
Absolutely, this is a really important point because it's not about aesthetics alone, it's about how you feel on the inside. So, exercise will definitely has the potential to definitely benefit the mental health aspect. It builds confidence.
Right.
You feel good about yourself. The endorphin release after the exercise is amazing.
Yeah.
So, you also build mental strength along with physical strength with exercise. And this is kind of an underrated topic because no one really talks about exercise in that context.
Yeah.
But that is something that needs to be promoted because we always think about gym and exercise from an aesthetic viewpoint.
Yeah.
But there are so many benefits, right? We just discussed about the physiological adaptations and how it improves blood markers, but it can definitely play a big role in your mental health, your stress handling capacity,
Right.
etc.
Okay, Tejas, so I'm gonna do something fun with you right now. I'm gonna like do a quick
Yes.
rapid fire round, just to know you
Yes,
up in person and a little bit about yourself and what you like. So
sure.
if you're ready, we're ready to go.
Yes, go for it.
So what is one thing in terms of your daily fitness? What is the best exercise which you like?
Okay. Personally, I love playing football, but if you ask me about exercise, I'll say deadlift.
Okay.
Just from
Um,
a personal
what is your go-to food or a go-to staple, whichever you say?
eggs.
Eggs. Okay. What is your favorite, if you have a sweet tooth, what is your favorite indulgence, when it comes to desserts?
Uh, Unfortunately, I don't have much of a sweet tooth and not much of a person who indulges a lot in desserts. But if I had to say, I would say chocolate cake.
Okay. What is your best technique in terms of like working out? Would you prefer like an outdoor workout with like no tools or no equipments or in a full-on gym?
So I work out every day in the gym. I really like working out in the gym. But if you ask me, I'm a person who loves sports, team sports, not just from a social angle, but also from a psychological angle.
Okay.
So I would say football any day, but gym workout if you're asking me about planned exercise.
Okay. And what is your favorite holiday destination? If you just want to just unwind and just go away for some days, where would you go and what would that perfect place for you be?
Goa.
Okay, I think that's everyone's favorite. Okay. Tejas, I have one last question for you. If I
Yes.
would like you to give a message directly to the next generation, to the young people watching our episode, to inspire and motivate them. And, if there was one strong message from your side to the fitness community, or to anyone who would like to pursue into and get into fitness, whether it be professional or whether it just be for themselves, what would that message be?
So I don't know if I can inspire or motivate anyone to. I've not done anything to that extent as of yet. But what I would say is, uh, don't have an all or nothing approach. Just keep pushing it, and eventually, if you have any goals in your mind, trust the process and just keep going at it.
Okay. So everyone watching our episode, what's he rightly said is, in one word, if I would say, consistency is very
Yes.
important. Like if you're doing something, be consistent, be determined, have the passion and the fire inside burning you all the time. That is what gets you, to the next step. And you've seen the way Tejas, has really excelled in what he's doing. He's become an expert in the field. In fact, he's a PhD in terms of sports, and there's something like that which is with only you can achieve with a lot of consistency, hard work, and a lot of knowledge, and the ability to learn, which is very important. So the true message, what you said in terms of, if I had to sum it up, I would say, to everyone watching, take your health seriously, take your life seriously. You get one life, and don't play around with it, and you should always be focused in whatever you do. If you're focused, there's nothing, the way they say, there's nothing impossible in the world. So I think if you're focused about something, you can definitely achieve it. So thank you, Tejas, for giving so much time and having this candid chat with me. It's going to inspire a lot of people. It's totally inspired me, even now thinking also, when you want to like go to the gym, and if I want to like, if any of my days, even I think if I do a cheat day also, I'll want to go down to the gym just to be more athletic, and be just being more, I would say, about my body. I would be more mindful in terms of what I do from now on. So thank you so much for giving insights and having this candid chat with me.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
having me. It was a pleasure having a chat with you, and it's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chetas. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.